The fox from the forest appeared, watching her with a knowing smile. "You have grown, Aara," it said. "You have learned to embrace both light and darkness. Your shadow is grateful for your love and understanding." Aara smiled back, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the fox's guidance. "But I still have questions though," she admitted. "What can I do to help others embrace their shadows as I have?" The fox thought for a moment. "Share your journey, Aara," it replied. "Your story can inspire many. It can teach them to accept their shadows. So share your story and your journey." Village nestled between tall mountains. There lived a girl named Aara. Aara was known for her joyful spirit and her love for dancing. Almost everyone in the village loved and admired her. You can never see Aara without smiling. She always had a smiling face that lightens up everyone's mood, and a dancing steps that keeps you in the mood all the time. Aara is just a joyful soul. Every evening, she would dance under the stars in her backyard, swaying to the gentle whispers of the night breeze. The villagers often gathered to watch her, enchanted by her graceful moves. So one night, while dancing, Aara noticed something strange. As she danced, her shadow began to move differently. It seemed to have a life of its own, stretching and bending in ways that made her curious. She was so curious, and her curiosity was even getting in her head. It was the most beautiful and the most magical thing she had ever seen. Intrigued, Aara began to experiment. She danced faster, and her shadow kept up effortlessly. When she slowed down, the shadow mimicked her every move. It felt as if the shadow was a friend, sharing in her joy. Excited by this discovery, Aara decided to explore the connection further. As the nights passed, Aara and her shadow grew closer. They danced in harmony, creating a magical bond. However, Aara soon realized that her shadow sometimes seemed very sad. It would dim when she felt lonely or worried. Aara wanted to help her shadow find happiness again, but she didn't know how or even what to do. It's just her shadow. What could that even mean? I mean, it's her shadow. It's my shadow. It should be a reflection of me, she kept saying to herself, not even understanding what she meant. One evening, as she danced under a full moon, she felt a strong urge to reach out to her shadow. "What can I do to make you happy?" she whispered. Suddenly, the air around her shimmered, and a soft voice replied, "To bring joy, you must embrace the darkness within." Aara was puzzled. What did that even mean? Embrace darkness. Aara pondered about that all through the night. What does it mean to embrace one's darkness? She kept on asking herself until she dozed off and slept off that night. The next day, Aara could not stop thinking about the mysterious voice. What did it mean to embrace darkness? So determined to find answers, she set off to explore the woods behind her village. The villagers warned her about the woods, saying they were filled with unknown creatures and strange happenings. But Aara felt a pull towards the unknown. As she walked deeper into the forest, she noticed how the sunlight danced through the leaves, casting playful shadows on the ground. Maybe the shadows here hold secrets, she thought. Suddenly, she heard a rustling around. Curious, she turned to see a small fluffy creature with big bright eyes watching her. It was a tiny fox. "Hello, little fox," Elora greeted. The fox tilted its head and seemed to understand her. "I'm looking for answers about my shadows. Do you know anything?" The fox paused, then nodded, as if inviting her to follow. They walked together, the fox leading Elora into a hidden place filled with vibrant flowers and sparkling streams. In the center stood an ancient tree with twisted branches and shimmering leaves. Elora felt drawn to it. "This is the tree of reflection," the fox explained. "It holds the wisdom of the forest." Elora approached the tree and placed her hand on its bark. Suddenly, images filled her mind. Shadows dancing in the moonlight, creatures of the night celebrating under the stars, and a beautiful melody that echoed in her heart. The tree whispered, "To embrace your shadow, you must understand its fears and joys." Elora felt a wave of understanding wash over her. "I need to know my shadow better," she thought. So with a newfound sense of purpose, she thanked the fox and promised to return. The journey to understand her shadow had begun, and she was ready for the adventure that lay ahead. That night, Elora prepared for a special dance. She felt excited about it, but also a little nervous. What if her shadow was still sad? She put on her favorite dress, one that sparkled like the stars, and stepped outside. The moon was bright, casting a silver glow on the world around her. As she began to dance, she called out to her shadow, "Come, my friend, let's dance together." At first, her shadow hesitated, lingering in the darkness. But then, as Elora moved gracefully, her shadow slowly joined her. It began to twirl and leap, reflecting her every move. However, something was different this time. Elora noticed that her shadow flickered, dimming at moments. Concerned, she slowed her dance. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. The shadow shivered, and the air grew still. "I am afraid," it finally whispered. "Afraid of being seen, of the darkness within." Elora's heart ached for her shadow. "You don't have to be afraid of me," she reassured it. "You are part of me, and I want to understand you." With those words, she took a deep breath and continued to dance, inviting her shadow to express itself fully. To her surprise, the shadow began to take form, swelling into shapes that reflected Elora's emotion. When she felt joy, the shadow danced brightly. When she felt sadness, it coiled into a small dark ball. Elora realized that her shadow was a mirror of her own feelings. "I see you," she said, "and I will always accept you no matter how you feel." As they danced together, Elora felt a warmth spreading through her heart. The shadows around them began to glow with light. Elora understood that embracing her shadow meant accepting every part of herself, even the darkness. Together, they danced until the first light of dawn kissed the horizon, united in a beautiful bond that no darkness could break. As the sun rose, Elora felt a sense of accomplishment. She had discovered the beauty of her shadow, the beauty that lay within her, and it filled her with so much joy. The villagers even noticed the change in her spirit and wanted to celebrate with her. "Let's have a festival of shadows," they suggested, eager to honor the magic that Elora had shared. The village buzzed with excitement as everyone prepared for the festival. They decorated the town with lanterns, created shadow puppets, and made delicious treats to share. Elera was so thrilled and wanted to include her shadow in the festivals. "I will dance with my shadow and show everyone how beautiful it is," she thought. On the night of the festival, the village square was alive with laughter and music. Elera took center stage, wearing a dress that shimmered under the moonlight. As she began to dance, her shadow sprang to life beside her, swelling and leaping in perfect harmony. The villagers watched in awe, mesmerized by the stunning performance. Elera's heart swelled with pride as she danced, showing everyone that shadows could be beautiful and full of life. She invited others to join her, encouraging them to embrace their own shadows. One by one, villagers stepped forward, dancing with their own shadows, celebrating the unique shapes and forms that emerged in the moonlight. The festival continued into the night, filled with joy and laughter. Elera shared her story about embracing her shadow and how it reflected the light and darkness within her. The villagers learned that their shadows held stories too, and they began to appreciate them instead of fearing them. As the night came to an end, the village lit candles and released them into the sky, creating a sea of glowing lights. Elera felt a sense of belonging and connection, knowing that she had inspired others to embrace their true selves, who they truly are, without anybody telling them otherwise. The Festival of Shadow became a cherished tradition, reminding everyone that both light and darkness are an essential part of life, and together they create a beautiful dance. After the festival, Aara felt a change within herself. Her shadow was no longer just a dark shape on the ground. It was a part of her. It was who she is. She began to understand the lessons her shadow had taught her about acceptance, courage, and the beauty of emotions. Each night, she continued to dance, sharing her joy with her shadow, who now sparkled brightly beside her. One evening, as she practiced her dance, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. The fox from the forest appeared, watching her with a knowing smile. "You have grown, Elera," it said. "You have learned to embrace both light and darkness. Your shadow is grateful for your love and understanding." Elera smiled back, feeling a sense of gratitude for the fox's guidance. "But I still have questions though," she admitted. "What can I do to help others embrace their shadows as I have?" The fox thought for a moment. "Share your journey," it replied. "Your story can inspire many. You can teach them that shadows are not something to fear, but rather a part of who they are." With that, Aara decided to start a new project. She gathered the children of the village and invited them to join her for evening dances. Each night, they would dance together, exploring their emotions through movements. Aara encouraged them to express their true feelings, whether they are happy, sad, scared. As the children danced, their shadows danced with them, revealing the beauty in its emotions. They laughed, played, and learned to love their shadows. Elara's heart filled with joy as she watched the children embrace their true selves just as she had. One night, after a lively dance, the children presented Elera with a gift, a beautiful necklace made of sparkling stones, each representing a different emotion. "This is to remind you of the light you bring into our lives, Elera," they said. Tears of happiness filled Elera's eyes. She realized that her journey had not only transformed her life, but had also inspired others to find the beauty within themselves and their shadows. Hi dear friends, thank you for sticking around to the end of this story. You guys are the real VVVIP. I hope you learned something from this story, because I, for one, I learned to accept myself the way I am while trying to improve my version of myself, the version of who I am. Instead of changing who I am completely, I'll try to improve it. This story is all about self-acceptance, self-realization. Love yourself, accept who you are, your past, your struggles, your stories, what you've passed through, because all of this comes together to form who you truly are. It comes together to form a very beautiful success story, if only you would allow it to come to light and help mold you. So dear friends, learn to accept who you are. In a nutshell, that is what this story is all about for me, is self-acceptance and love. Love yourself before even talk about loving others. Love yourself and others will love you. Accept yourself and others will accept and appreciate who you are. Thank you for watching, and please, if this is your first time of coming across this channel, you're welcome, and don't forget to subscribe. And for my subscribers, I love you guys so much. And the new subscribers, I love you people. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for even clicking on this video. I appreciate. And please give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, and tell me what you learned and where you're watching from. I really appreciate that.